Would you be okay with your child, your niece, your nephew, your grandchild living with someone who is so unstable that one minute they can be happy and the next minute they can be raging? This is what a child of someone who suffers with borderline personality disorder has to live with. I think that people who suffer from borderline personality disorder should not be able to maintain custody of any child they have for many reasons. Borderline personality disorder, according to the Mayo Clinic, is a mental health disorder that impacts the way you think and feel about yourself and others, causing problems functioning in daily life. It includes self-image issues, difficulty managing emotions, and behavior in a pattern of unstable relationships. Um, so parents who suffer with borderline personality disorder will be unable to care for a child and their mental illness will get in the way. According to the National Library of Medicine, parents with this personality disorder may struggle with expressing appropriate empathetic responses, fluctuations in mental well-being, difficulty maintaining a stable and safe environment, and engaging in personal skills. Children of mothers with borderline personality disorder display significantly more emotional and behavioral problems. These children experience increased emotional dysregulation, insecure attachments, styles, and depressive symptoms. Another reason why I believe that people with borderline personality disorder should not be able to maintain custody of their children is because of what is known as the codependency trap. According to Psychology Today, a parent with borderline personality disorder fears abandonment so much that they will throw tantrums, threaten to harm themselves, or suddenly become depressed if they feel their child trying to separate from them. This could even be just your child wanting to go to a friend's house for a few days. The parent with borderline personality disorder feels betrayed, or like the child is leaving them behind. This leads to your child growing up and finding themselves in relationships where they lose themselves and they might be used. Another reason why parents with borderline personality disorder should not be able to maintain custody of children they have is because it can suppress emotions and hamper emotional growth. According to Eggshell Therapy, a child whose parent suffers from borderline personality disorder was never allowed to express authentic feelings, and this leaves the child feeling empty or numb. The last reasoning that I'm going to share about on why people with borderline personality disorder should not maintain custody of their children is due to me being around someone with borderline personality disorder and living with them for a period of time and seeing the effects that that had on their children. So my sister, Vanessa, suffers from borderline personality disorder. Growing up, you could never predict how she was going to react that day. She actually pushed my dad down the stairs. She would punch me and was very emotionally abusive. Um, when she turned 18, she moved back to Texas to live with our biological mother. And soon after, she got pregnant and had a baby girl. CPS began investigating when the baby was 6 months old because they had gone to the hospital and the baby had unexplained, um, she broke her ribs and they didn't know why the baby had broken ribs. Well, it was later found out that Vanessa had broken the baby's ribs. Um, when the child was, they left Texas and went to Florida, and CPS said they couldn't do anything because they left the state. Well, when the child was 18 months, the cops finally went to check the house and Sage was immediately taken. I'm going to share my screen to show you I'm going to show you some pictures from the crime scene pictures. So this is what the news report had said. A judge sentenced a Pensacola woman and her living with her child and 11 animals were found living in unsanitary conditions in her home. Vanessa Weemy, 23, was sentenced Friday on 3 counts of aggravated animal cruelty, 7 counts of cruelty to animals, and 1 count of contributing to the delinquency of a child. On June 28th, Escambia County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to a call for service at Weemy's Georgia Street home. Deputies found 10 malnourished dogs and 1 cat on the premise. At the home was reportedly littered with fecal matter. We also learned that there was no food that was safe for consumption in their house. The deputies contacted animal control, which reported that all of the dogs were ill and several of them were close to death. Here are some of the pictures. As you can see, the house was just not taken care of, and that is just something that happens when you have this mental illness. It's hard for them to maintain a stable and safe home environment, and this is clearly not a place that is suitable for a child to be living. Stop sharing now. So, I know that some people might say, well, this is not right because you're taking away rights of individuals, or the foster care system is full enough. What will we do? And I would have been right there with them until it happened to someone in my family, and my niece, she calls herself my little sister now, until she came around. But the rights of these individuals need to be taken away because they cannot care for those children, and those children have rights too. Also, yes, the foster care system is full, it's hard for them, but you can, if you want to help, you can help. Or there's family that will take in the kids. There's other family. Um, we really, I really hope that we can do something more, because Vanessa actually had another child, and she gets to keep that child because she hasn't shown anything yet. So she gets to keep that child until something happens or CPS investigates. So we need to stop allowing people who are unable to care for a child to keep their children, because this leads to cycles repeating. Thank you for listening.